So we're continuing today with the Zohar from Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai and his associate group, and chapter 52 of pekudei, which is the portion, the parsha. So we've been in this chapter for already 2 videos, I believe, and we may finish today. So whenever there's unity, contact, holiness, and additional holiness must be drawn, and the additional and most important. First, sanctification. You're holy. Second, your name is holy. Then all become more sacred from the above, and by the patriarchs, tied into one bond, not unity of all unison. Happy is the portion of whoever knows how to arrange the praises of his master in the proper place. Up to this place is devotion, blessings, sanctification, together with the fathers. From this place and on is entreaties, petitions. So it behooves man to ask to know his master's words, to show his passion for him, and not to be separated from him. For a man should take part in the sanctification of the high and holy name, to be adorned by it. And the name of the blessings and sanctifications is the dew of heaven. Chaf, Vav, Zayin, Vav. The secret of Yud and He and Vav and He. Because we have Yud, the next letter is Chaf, He, the next letter is Vav, Vav, the next letter is Zayin, and He, the next letter is Vav. It's like one next. These letters produce the other letters, and the combination of these resembles the joining of male and female. The reckoning of its letters for down below, all words are counted. There's reckoning. There's no reckoning save that of the moon. For that reason, one needs to be connected with the sanctification of his master, and not to be separated from him. When one asks, one should ask first how to know one's master, and show his passion is turned toward him. And from now on, one may be separated little by little, and request whatever's needed. And all his asking should be for after he arranges this order, and all his petitions should be by way of entreating and beseeching before his master, and he must not separate himself from him. Happy is whoever knows the sequence by which to go in the path of truth properly. As fire is united with water, and water with fire, and north with south, and south with north, and east with west, and west with east, all are together, and the unison is completed by each other, and all those who know how to arrange their prayer properly, to include all the chambers within each other, and connect them to each other, such a man is joined with them and approached them to be included within them. He asks, and his petition is granted. Happy is he in this world and in the world to come. After his petition, all said, and the body is whole on all sides, to the heart's rejoicing, and he finished asking, he must again draw blessings, joys, downward in the secret of the third chamber. The daily selections about the sacrifices from the prayers it's referring to uphold the body, because they used to actually do the sacrifices, the offerings in the temple. Uphold the body, starting beneath the body, and called two thighs down to the knees, where the prophets are connected, and the visions and the secret of the holy name He, Shin, Taf, Pei, Aleph, which is the secret of the name Tzevaot. Where there's something called an atbash cipher, where you take the first letter and you replace it with the last letter, second letter with the second to last letter, third letter with the third to last letter. So this name Tzevaot, if you flip it around in the atbash cipher, you get this other letters I just said. When this one ascends, while the other ascends, for prophets, for visions, and the high secret called Baraita. Baraita is usually referred to as the additional part expanded on when you come to the Talmud and you have additional parts. So when a man reaches the knees, he should kneel, which restores to be Mishnah. Mishnah is like what the Baraita is expanding on, for example, and they're blessed together with the verse, "Blessed are you, Hashem, who restores his divine glory to Zion, to Zion." Just as a pause, pertinent to this time, contemporary period, we have the idea here, which is that all the prayers of Judaism pretty much revolve around the divine glory to Zion, to Zion, to the original, state of where the Jewish people belong in Israel, where they were called Hebrews, because Ivri, which means, Abraham, the other side, Ivri, which means like crossing over. So originally they were called the Hebrews because they went over to the other side, for example. So they didn't stay with everyone when everyone was sinning. They did their own thing according to what God wanted, even when it meant that they were the minority. And then, everywhere from Egypt to Africa, they knew about their being called the Hebrews, even the Ugaritic texts, the Samaritans, everyone, the Assyrians, and so on. They were always known as Hebrews, then Yehudim. Yehudim was from the tribe of Judah, and the Jews, and eventually came from Yehuda, and then now we know the Jews, but really it's the Israelis, the original. And yeah, you have all different colors and shapes and sizes of Israelis, Jewish people from Europe, from every country in the world now, from South America, from doesn't matter. And indigenous Native Americans could become Jewish. Why? Because you could marry and convert. Everywhere the Jewish nation went and explored places, even in Egypt when they were in exile, Egyptians wanted to come with them and leave Egypt with them after everything. So it's just that everywhere the Jews went, non-Jews wanted to become righteous non-Jews, wanted to become part of the Jewish people and serve God, the creator of the universe, with the Jewish people. So that's why you have all different kinds of Jews, and that's why they have DNA from all over the world, and that's fine. It's not that Jews come from only a specific place, but it's that the Jews will always have Israel as the primary region, and in other words, Zion. Okay, now returning to what we're reading here. The second chamber is where the soul is entrusted to go up, see the visions of the dreams, which equals we gratefully acknowledge, and kneel to give thanks for the souls, and from kneel to give thanks for the souls, from and the souls that are entrusted to you, up till all beneficent and your name, to whom it is fitting to render thanks. This is the inner mystery of the holy name called Bet, and then final Mem. This is like you have the name El. So Aleph Lamed, so you have Beis Mem. These are the letters that come after. So it's like another cipher where we're doing the letters right after. And then Beit Mem Vav Chaf final Nun, which is the letters after Elohim, which is the powers. You have power El, and then you have the powers, like the power of powers, the highest power. And then you have the supernal mystery entirety of other letters that come and and down is the secret of the dream, the secret of putting souls in this place. We should go on with the benedictions in order to find rest in this world and in the world to come. The chamber down below, bestow peace, happiness, blessing. Peace is perfected, peace above and below, peace on all sides, peace in the celestial retinue and terrestrial retinue, uniting the celestial and terrestrial, flowing down to the lower beings. Here everything joined to be perfected together above and below by one illumination that completes the full name, Yod and He and Vav and He, Elohim. This name is complete in all chambers and in all supernal lights to make them one. A man, when asked to leave the chambers and go out, should behave as if he is withdrawing from the presence of the king and from his palace, and should lower himself before him. But it also behooves him to rejoice in being the first to receive the creation of continuation of the blessings drawn down from the unison of his master. He is the son of the king's chamber, for when he withdraws from the company of the king, all is united in all respects by the tie of unity, the blessings and sanctification and the additional holiness. The Holy One, blessed be he, calls the celestial retinue and tells them, write the name of so-and-so amongst those who are called those who thought upon his name. That's a quote from Malachi, the prophet, chapter 3, verse 16. This equals those who think and who meditate on the secret of his name, Hashem. And that's why we're going through a lot of these names. In order to unite the chambers together, which in other words we say l'shem yichud, for the oneness of the name, tie knots and unite everything into one union. The man is then written to be distinguished and known above and be perfected above and below. Whoever approaches his master and prays without perfecting the unison and without caring for the glory of his master to tie knots, as said, it were better for him to not have been born. The perfect high and low secret of the holy name that rules above, Mem, Tzaddik, Pei, Tzaddik. We have the Atbash cipher again. So the Mem Tzaddik, Pei Tzaddik. So we have when you have the first letters and the last letters. So for example, Tzaddik matches Hey, and Vav matches Pei, and Mem matches Yud. So it's like you have them coming, let's say, this way, and then you have the last ones coming in this way. So you're coming in one step closer to the middle with each one, and then you flip them. Here, the secret of the holy name is consecrated. For example, let's say A and Z, or B and Y, and C and X. So like you replace it like that. Okay. After finishing, it behooves man to stand and confess his sin. So there'll be no pretext for the other side to accuse him, and so he is subjugated before him. Now he stands firm, blessed from the king's house. Happy is the portion of whoever is consecrated in this manner by his prayers, who ties the knots and makes unisons with proper meditations, not deviating right or left. His prayers then will be not returned empty-handed. The Holy One, blessed be he, decrees, yet he annuls it. He has a portion in this world and the world to come. Manifold blessings, sanctifications, and additional sanctifications she receives and divides a portion to everyone, even the other side. This is the mystery for those of the earth, of the faith, The part of the unholy other side is all the sins and transgressions of the man who tied the bonds of unison and confessed them. They all dwell upon the other side, to be part and portion of the other side. But if he didn't confess them, then the accuser comes and prevails. If he confesses his sins in that prayer by connecting the bonds of unison, the upper and lower are blessed, and it's part of the other side that all the sins, transgressions he confessed, he takes as his own portions. This is the secret of the goat, his part, portion, property. The goat that's used for the other side at the time of Yom Kippur, which is for atonement, for like the confession, kind of like the idea is that they lean it onto the goat, and the goat goes out in the wilderness, and there's one goat for God and one goat for the sort of the other side. If man reverts to corrupt ways, woe to him, for he takes back the transgressions from that side against the will of that side, which harms him and becomes his accuser to speak ill of him. But when he confesses them, the other side takes them to be its allotted part. This is the secret of the offering. One has to confess over the flesh of all his, over the flesh of it, all his sins and iniquities, to give a portion to the side to him, the side who needs it, the portions of all the sins, the iniquities confessed, and the whole sacrifice goes to the side of holiness, which is the part of the holiness and its desire. Happy is he who knows his ways to walk the path of truth. Whoever doesn't know how to arrange the praise of his master, it is better for him to not have been born. The prayer should be whole above by thought, the heart, by thoughts. I think it's thought, hearts, desire, voice, and words of his mouth, all to create perfection, connection, and unison above, as perfection comes from above downward. So the connection should be properly made from below upward. The mystery to walk the true path, thought, will, voice, speech, are the four knots. Are the four knots that tie. Are the four that tie the knots. After they tied the knots together, they become one chariot. So the Shekhinah may dwell upon them. They then turned into four pillars to be decked by the Shekhinah, to be bedecked by, and the Shekhinah supported by them by all the high knots. Thought produces will produces a sounding voice. The sound that is heard ascends and binds knots from below upwards, connecting the lower and upper chambers. The sound which connects and draws blessings from high above is secretly supported by those four pillars: thought, speech, voice, and will. The support comes at the end of the knot, where everything is bound together. And happy is the man who ties the knots of his master. So the support comes at the end of the knot, where everything is bound together and becomes one. Happy is the man who ties the knot of his master and produces proper struts, who is intent upon all the things we said. Happy is he in this world and in the world to come. So far is the construction of the chambers on the side of holiness, and that is all.